Welcome to my channel. I am Ben, the business analyst expert.
In today's video, we're going to go over the second part of the summary of the book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. If you missed the first part, click the link in the description below. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to be notified for future videos. In the first video, we went over 9 big ideas from the book. We're going to go over 9 more. Number 10, save money. Big idea. The only factor you can control generates one of the only things that matters. Building wealth has little to do with your income or investment returns and more to do with your savings rate. More importantly, the value of wealth is relative to what you need. A high savings rate means having lower expenses than you otherwise could, and having lower expenses means your savings goes farther than you would if you spent more. Number 11, reasonable over rational. Big idea, aiming to be mostly reasonable works better than trying to be coldly rational. Do not aim to be coldly rational when making financial decisions, writes Housel. Aim to just be pretty reasonable. Reasonable is more realistic, and you have a better chance of sticking with it for the long run, which is what matters most when managing money. You're not a spreadsheet, remember, you're a person. Number 12, surprise. Big idea, history is an unassailable guide to the future. A trap many investors fall into is what Housel calls historians as prophets. Fallacy. An over-reliance on past data as a signal to future conditions in a field where innovation and change are the lifeblood of progress. Past performance is not indicative of future results. The world changes. Number 13, room for error. Big idea, the most important part of every plan is planning on your plan not going according to plan. Use room for error when estimating your future returns. For his own investments, Housel assumes the future returns he'll earn in his lifetime will be 1/3 lower than the historic average. So he saves more than he would if I assume the future will resemble the past. It's his margin of safety. Number 14, you'll change. Big idea, long-term planning is harder than it seems because people's goals and desires change over time. We're such poor forecasters of our future selves that there's a term for this phenomenon, the end of history illusion. We're aware of how much we've changed in the past, but we grossly underestimate how much our personalities, desires, and goals will change in the future. Housel writes, imagining a goal is easy and fun. Imagining a goal in the context of the realistic life stresses that grow with competitive pursuits is something entirely different. When you're making long-term decisions, then remember to avoid the extreme ends of financial planning and accept the reality of changing your mind. Number 15, nothing's free. Big idea, everything has a price, but not all prices appear on labels. The price of investing success is not immediately obvious. It's not a price tag you can see or when the bill comes due. It doesn't feel like a fee for getting something good. It feels like a fee for doing something wrong. Housel writes, thinking of market volatility as a fee rather than a fine is an important part of developing the kind of mindset that lets you stick around long enough for investing gains to work in your favor. Number 16, you and me. Big idea. Avoid taking financial cues from people playing at a different game than you are. Few things matter more with money than understanding your own time horizon and not being persuaded by the actions and behaviors of people playing different games than you are. Go out of your way to identify what game you're playing and ignore the rest. Number 17, the seduction of pessimism. Big idea. Optimism sounds like a sales pitch. Pessimism sounds like someone trying to help you. In finance, pessimism is paid more attention than optimism, and is therefore more pervasive. It's easier to create a narrative around pessimism because the story pieces tend to be fresher and more recent, writes Housel. Optimistic narratives require looking at a long stretch of history and developments, which people tend to forget and take more effort to piece together. True financial optimism, Housel posits, is to expect things to be bad and be surprised when they're not. Number 18, when you'll believe anything. The big idea, stories trump statistics. The more you want something to be true, the more likely you are going to believe a story that overestimates the odds of it being true. After World War I ended, for instance, few thought there would ever be another world war. Housel writes, there are many things in life that we think are true because we desperately want them to be true. He calls these things appealing fictions, and they have a big impact on how we think about money, particularly investments and the economy. This concludes the second part of the summary of the book, The Psychology of Money. You'll find the link of the first part below this video. I'll also place the link of the book in the description below. Give us a thumbs up and show your support in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep smiling.
Please subscribe to my channel if you have not done it yet, and don't forget to click the notification button. I hope you guys learned and enjoyed this video. Thank you, and have a great day.